Today, we're diving deep into a story of power, seduction, and the ultimate revenge, all of it coming to a head in one single fatal moment on New Year's Eve. This is the story of the Thorne Mansion murder. So picture this. It's the most exclusive New Year's Eve party in all of Philadelphia. Champagne's flowing, the music is blasting, and the clock is just about to strike midnight. But then, a sound cuts through all the noise, and it is definitely not a firework. It's the sound that ends a powerful man's life, and it's the explosive climax to a story that really started months earlier. The victim? None other than Roland Thorne, the CEO of Thorne Pharmaceuticals, a man who, from the outside, seemed to have everything. He's found dead on the imported marble floor of his own mansion, surrounded by the city's absolute elite. But make no mistake, this was no random act of violence. This was an execution, planned down to the very last second. To really understand that gunshot, we can't start with the body. We have to rewind the clock. We're going back 6 months to a corporate gala. It's right here, in the middle of all the polite chatter and clinking glasses, that the seeds of this entire tragedy were first planted. You see, this gala, it was way more than just a party. It was basically a chessboard, and on that night, several key players were moved into position, every single one of them with their own secret hopes and plans that would eventually set them on a collision course. All right, let's meet our key players. First up, you've got Roland Thorne, the powerful CEO who's always on the hunt for his next conquest. Then there's Octavia Smith, a brilliant medical student who's ambitious but struggling financially. We also have her father, Dominic, a loyal manager at Roland's company, just trying to provide for his family. And finally, there's Catherine Thorne, Roland's wife, who is absolutely fed up with being a trophy and is looking for a way to get some power of her own. And get this, that very night, Roland and Catherine, a husband and wife in this incredibly toxic power struggle, they each set their sights on a different member of the Smith family. Two completely separate games of seduction and manipulation kicked off at the very same time. Roland's strategy was, well, it was textbook predation. He saw Octavia's ambition, he knew about her family's money problems, and he used it all. He wasn't just offering an affair. No, he was offering her entire future on a silver platter. Medical school paid for, financial security, you name it. He was basically selling her a golden ticket, and the price was her absolute trust. So you've got this two-front war being waged against the Smith family. While Roland is grooming the daughter, Octavia, with all these promises, his wife Catherine is targeting the father, Dominic. At first, she just wants leverage over her husband. But when Dominic turns her down flat, her goal shifts to pure, simple punishment. 2 predators, 2 targets, and 1 family caught right in the crossfire. In this right here, this is the moment everything pivots. After Dominic firmly rejects her, Catherine's flirty attitude turns into something much darker. That line she delivers, "We all make choices, don't we?" That's not just her being disappointed. That's a straight-up threat. He made his choice, and now she was going to make damn sure he paid for it. Now, these weren't just harmless games. They had devastating, real-world consequences. The Thornes, both of them feeling rejected, decide to team up. And not to fix their marriage, oh no, they united their power to systematically destroy the man who had the nerve to say no. Their revenge was just a cold, calculated corporate execution. First, Catherine and Roland cook up these fake emails to frame Dominic for harassment. Then, Roland puts on this big show, being so disappointed, and fires him. But they don't stop there. They start a whisper campaign, blacklisting him from the industry, making him totally unemployable. The Smith family's financial stability completely wiped out. And this is the moment. The horrible truth comes out. It's a total gut punch. Octavia, who still thinks Roland is her savior, finally learns the real reason her dad was fired. Her secret affair wasn't her path to success. It was the weapon used to absolutely ruin her family. That one sentence just shatters everything and puts Octavia on a brand new and much darker path. That betrayal just flips a switch in Octavia. She realizes she was never Roland's partner. She was just a pawn in his game. But here's the thing. Roland taught her all about power and manipulation. And now she decides she's going to use those very same lessons against him. The victim is about to become the mastermind. So Octavia starts digging. She hacks into Roland's emails, and what she finds is chilling. She learns the horrifying truth. She wasn't the first, not by a long shot. She uncovers this pattern stretching back decades, a whole network of past victims. Roland didn't just have affairs. He had a system for preying on, using, and then completely destroying vulnerable young women.
Now, armed with this new alliance of other victims, she puts together this brilliant plan. This isn't just about getting even anymore. It's about getting justice. They gather stories, they collect hard evidence, and they even manage to infiltrate the staff at the big New Year's Eve party. The final move? Springing a public trap at 11:45 p.m. to expose Roland in front of every single person who matters to him. And that brings us right back to where we started, the Thorne Mansion on New Year's Eve. The party is in full swing. The guests have no idea what's coming. But for Octavia and her allies, this is it. It's the final act of a deadly play they've been writing for weeks.
The final minutes of the year are just pure, controlled chaos. At 11:30, Dominic arrives, a calculated move to put Roland on edge. Then, at 11:45, right on schedule, the massive screens in the ballroom flicker to life, broadcasting Roland's crimes to everyone. With his entire reputation destroyed, and just a minute to midnight, a furious Roland lunges for Octavia. And then, at the stroke of 12, the gunshot.
So who fired the shot? It was Catherine, standing there at the top of the grand staircase, holding her husband's own gun. Turns out the scorned wife had joined their conspiracy, seeing it as her own path to freedom. And her final words to him? Absolutely chilling. The aftermath is almost ruthlessly efficient. Catherine's shooting gets ruled as justifiable defense of another, and boom, she takes over as interim CEO. Dominic gets his job back and a promotion. Octavia and the other victims, they form an advocacy group called Phoenix Rising. And Roland is gone. It's almost too perfect. Every single player gets exactly what they wanted.
But wait, there is one last, final twist to this whole thing. The lead detective on the case, she actually uncovers proof of the conspiracy. She knows it was a premeditated plot between Octavia and Catherine. And what does she do? She shreds the evidence. She decides that the official story delivers a better kind of justice than the literal truth ever could. Which leaves us with this final, massive question. The official story was justifiable homicide. The truth was a conspiracy. Now, the law would call that murder. But when you think about the decades of abuse, the lives Roland destroyed, and the system that let him do it, was this meticulously planned act really murder? Or was it the only form of justice that was ever really possible?